Today we are going to check out the NZXT Capsule, which is NZXT's first entry into the world of microphones for streamers, coming in at 129 US dollars or around 10 to 12,000 rupees in India. It has some nice things going for it and it obviously looks amazing, but sound is probably the more important aspect you would want to know about, so this video is going to be recorded with it so you can check out how it sounds. Hey guys, I am Siddharth and I really cannot wait to unbox this microphone and check out what it looks like, so let's get started. The mic comes very well protected in a thick foam casing. You get an adapter which I will explain the use of. You get a Type C to Type A cable to connect it to your PC, and you of course get the mic itself along with its back cover, which we will get to. The design and build quality of the NZXT capsule is its strongest aspect. NZXT always has the cleanest aesthetic in the game, and that is also true for this microphone. I really like the black and white theme that is going on with it, which of course fits really well with my setup, and I think that this will stand out very nicely in most environments. The mic is made of aluminum, so it feels very strongly built, and it also doesn't weigh that much without the stand, which is actually a good thing because that makes using it on other mic stands easier. It comes attached to a very heavy duty metal stand with a thick rubber ring at its base, which is going to make sure that it stays firm on your desk. You can adjust the tension for the tilt angle of the microphone from its sides, and the mic itself is actually attached to the stand with a quick release system, so if you want to quickly shift it from the desk stand to another mic stand, you can do it easily with a press of a button. And NZXT has also included a back cover for the quick release area so it doesn't look odd. Under the mic, you will find a USB-C port, a 1/4 inch screw thread, and a 3.5 mm audio out jack for real-time monitoring with your headphones. The mic comes with a 1/4 inch to 3/8 inch adapter, which also works as an extender, which will allow you to use the ports at bottom, and you will also have to use it to attach it to boom arms like this one. Coming to the controls, we have a knob for the microphone gain on the top, and if you press it, it will mute the mic. Then we have another knob under it that controls the volume for your monitoring headphones. The knob on top is a bit too wobbly, but the rotation on it is quite smooth, so I don't see it as being an issue on this mic. But the bigger problem with these knobs is that they don't stop, which means that the gain is controlled digitally. So a clockwise rotation will keep increasing the gain until its maximum, and a counterclockwise rotation will do the opposite of that. By default, the microphone is set at 50% gain, and when you have the mic placed at your desk, it is the perfect level, so it works really well. But the problem with this setup is that if you use the mic closer to you or if you speak loudly, then the gain is going to be too high and the mic is going to clip, which means that it is going to distort, which of course doesn't sound good. With other devices and mics, you can set their knobs at a fixed position, so whenever you turn them on, you know what the percentage of gain is, but this will always be at 50% when you start your PC, so you may have to set the gain on your PC in the sound control panel, and this system can work, but I still think that the regular implementation of gain knobs that every other company has is way better, and it has been like that for very good reasons. The mic does have a white LED ring at its bottom that looks really great, and it turns red when you mute the microphone. But if they made this light turn red when the mic was clipping, then the way the gain knob works would have made sense, because then you could just reduce the gain if you saw the light turning red. From what I understood by reading the reviewer's guide for this is that the philosophy behind designing this mic was that NZXT wanted to make something very simple and non-confusing to use. They wanted to make something that you can just plug and play without needing to use a software or worrying about things like polar patterns, because this mic only has one polar pattern, which is cardioid, which means that it is going to pick up noise from its front and reject it from its back and sides. People not understanding how to use mics is actually surprisingly common, and there are many examples of people using their Blue Yeti mics incorrectly. Cardioid is also the only polar pattern that you will need for streaming, and there is almost no point of having more polar patterns in a mic like this because they can actually make the mic sound worse if you don't know what you are doing. So let's test how well the cardioid polar pattern works on this microphone, and right now I am speaking on the front of the microphone and this is what it sounds like. Now I am speaking on the side of the microphone, so you can see how much of my voice is being rejected. And now I am at the back of the microphone and you can listen to what this sounds like. Finally, we are back on the front and we should get back to the normal volume of my voice. The size of the NZXT capsule is on the bigger side, and there are multiple reasons for that. The first is that it has a 25mm condenser capsule inside it, and that is something that you find in a true large condenser diaphragm mic. For comparison, the Blue Yeti has a 14mm capsule. Now, the capsule size of a microphone isn't everything, and there are other factors that determine the overall performance, but just keep in mind that it is something that you usually find in more expensive higher end microphones, and I just haven't seen a large diaphragm capsule in a USB mic in this price range. The other reasons for the bigger than usual size of the capsule is that it has an integrated pop filter and a shock mount. A pop filter keeps the mic from popping or distorting when you create plosives with your voice, which are bursts of air when you speak certain words, and a shock mount keeps the vibrations on the microphone's body from traveling to the capsule. So let's check how well the integrated pop filter works on this. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. You can of course also use an additional pop filter with this mic, so let's test how much of an improvement this brings. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. Now I am typing on my mechanical keyboard with low profile linear switches that I forgot the name of, so you can hear how much of my voice versus how much of the noise is getting picked up. This is also a demonstration of how the mic is going to sound in a desk environment. And now I am bumping on my table to see if the mic is able to resist the vibrations from traveling to the capsule, and now I am tapping on the mic stand to check how well the shock mount works. Do give this video a thumbs up if you are liking it so far, and you can also subscribe with bell because I have some exciting PC builds coming up. Now I am going to put this microphone very close to me, and generally with other mics, my voice gets very deep because of something called proximity effect, but NZXT seems to have tuned the frequency response of this microphone to reduce this effect by cutting down the bass. Whether you want the proximity effect or not is something that depends on your personal preference and voice, but if you are streaming, it can make the bass a little overpowering for some people. I personally like having some proximity effect audible on my microphones, but I can see why NZXT would try to cut it to simplify things. The bass roll-off can also help in reducing the ambient noise, but I think that it is a bit overdone on this microphone and it keeps it from sounding its best. My overall thoughts on the sound is that it doesn't sound great even on my voice, which is on the deeper side. NZXT has tried to optimize the sound of the capsule for capturing speech in a desk environment primarily, and I am not sure what kind of frequency response they decided was the best for this use case, because it just feels like there is too much cutting of the lower end frequencies and there is too much boost in the higher frequencies, which makes the sound too sibilant for my taste. In a desk environment, it is going to be further away from you, which only makes mics sound worse, so we are using this in a very favorable configuration. A boost in the high frequencies can actually help if you're streaming because it will make your voice stand out or cut through the other sounds in your game. So if that was the logic behind tuning it like this, I can see why they would do it. But if I just had to use this mic for a video like this or just use it to record my voice or chat with people, I wouldn't use it because even the other cheaper mics that I have used like the HyperX Solocast sounded much better and non-problematic in the high end, unlike the NZXT Capsule. To demonstrate this point further, I will compare this mic to a very cheap Mauno mic, and I will keep these at the same distance and read the same sentence so you can hear what the difference is like. In the viral game, the player has to control a car on a strange planet and kill aliens as well as animals including camels, deers and polar bears. The game begins with a disclaimer that says the game presentation is merely in a fictional context. In the viral game, the player has to control a car on a strange planet and kill aliens as well as animals including camels, deers and polar bears. The game begins with a disclaimer that says the game presentation is merely in a fictional context. So in conclusion, I have to say that I have very mixed feelings about the NZXT capsule. I absolutely love how it looks and feels, and this is a decent first attempt by NZXT in designing a microphone, but I just can't get myself to love how this sounds, and that is the most important quality you would want to have in a microphone. In addition to its sound, I also don't like how the gain knob and even the headphone volume knob works. If you just want it for streaming, you like how it will look on camera, and you think that its tuning can help you, then it is something that you can go for. But the competition for USB mics in its price range is very tough, and while the physical appearance of this mic is very good, I didn't find its sound to be similarly impressive. And that is quite unfortunate because NZXT does seem to have put a lot of thought into designing this mic, and they did include a large diaphragm condenser capsule inside it, which must have a lot of potential. And that is all I have to say about this microphone for now. I am not sure if its tuning can be improved with a firmware update, but these were my thoughts in its current state. I'll still have links in the video description if you want to buy this or check its current price. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or a thumbs down if you disliked it. Subscribe with bell, follow me on socials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.